It's time for Clubhouse Chatter. Here's Norm Ordez.
Hey, that's right. Welcome back to Clubhouse Chatter. Another Tuesday here in overcast Oregon. The rain is coming. They're talking about, 3 inches this weekend, Brian?
Yeah, it's nasty. It was nasty the other day. It's going to get nasty this week.
That's right. So our first guest this afternoon is Christian Colonel. And Christian he's a Christmas baby, by the way. Born on Christmas Day. I did not know that. So, dude, that's got to really suck, being born on Christmas Day. So, Christian was the 5th round selection of the 2003 MLB June Amateur Draft by the Colorado Rockies out of Texas Tech University. He also went to College of Southern Idaho in Twin Falls, and he's back for another go-round. Christian, how you doing, man?
Good, Norm. Thanks for having me on again.
Hey, not a problem. So the last time we had talked to you, you were talking about, life out of baseball.
Right.
And so it's been a while since we have chatted with you. So how you doing now?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Most importantly, I'm 664 days sober, and those are consecutive days. That's all in a row there. And so everything's going great there. And since I've gotten into recovery from alcoholism, my life's turned around, man. And, after baseball, I didn't deal with life very well. And so I got into drinking a little too much, and it got out of control. But, I rebounded, so I'm on my way.
Well, first of all, congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you.
That is huge. And, working in baseball, the alcohol flows freely. I mean, it really does. As a clubhouse manager, I remember, especially, after a game, you're on the road and you're holed up in the hotel and whatnot. And, it's 11:30 at night and you're still jacked up from the game. What do? You go to the bar.
Exactly.
You go to the bar because the hotel gives you drink coupons or drink tokens or whatever. And I remember most places we went to, the coaching staff, including the clubhouse manager, would get drink tokens and coupons. And so we drank for free.
Yes, sir.
And that way, it's that way for the players as well, correct?
That's it, man. Every time, we play every night, and you're alert all through the game, and you want to stay alert. You drink coffee and energy drinks and whatnot, and then you get home and you're still wound up. And what better way to wind down than have a few beers? And so that I just carried that on into after baseball, post baseball life, and that's no way to live. And I started drinking daily, and it was affecting how I was being a parent and business and school, and my life was going downhill for sure.
So now you are with Next Level Idaho there in Pocatello. How's that going?
It's going pretty well. We have the indoor baseball, softball facility, actually a multi-sports facility, and I'm trying to expand a little bit on that. But it's going well. Starting football just got over up here. And now kids are starting to come in a little bit. It's pretty slow August, September, October at our facility, from just a few kids here and there that come in regularly. But other than that, it's starting to get into our busy season. So dads are coming in, starting to plan, get memberships and that. So it's going well.
So Pocatello is, I would call it a baseball town. There's always been a minor league team in Pocatello or Idaho Falls,
right.
Sometimes in both. So, is Pocatello a baseball city?
I think so, and it's starting to get back to that if it went away from that a little bit. We did actually, it is our community is all about the high school sports, which is really cool. And high school sports, the biggest high school sport around here is football.
Right.
And that's pretty cool. So, but the kids are really enthusiastic about baseball these days. And, we don't have a minor league team here anymore, but we do have a semi-pro team. The media around here really jumps on that, gets kids and up and going about that. So it's cool. And, me and a couple other guys here in the community that played pro ball, and so it's fun.
And so now, when I was growing up in Kimberly, we didn't have high school baseball. The smaller schools didn't have high school baseball. At the time, your A1s, your Twin Falls, your Highlands, your Pocatello, they had baseball. But small towns, like Kimberly, I don't even think American Falls had baseball when I was growing up. I mean, now, of course, you went to school there in American Falls, and they had baseball. But in the mid-'80s, there wasn't any baseball.
Right. Same with American Falls. We didn't have high school baseball until I was in 7th grade.
Wow.
So luckily, it just came back around, and good timing.
So what else you got going on? So you're telling me you got a CrossFit gym now?
Right. I turned. I was approached by one of my friends a couple years ago talking about starting a CrossFit gym. I really didn't know what CrossFit was at the time. Then I started working out with them, and I loved it, and I fell in love with CrossFit. And I've been CrossFitting pretty regularly now for a year. But, yeah, we opened up a CrossFit gym right next to Next Level Sports, and it's actually attached. It's called CrossFit Octave. And we have about 60 members now, and it's fun. I try to go 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm addicted to CrossFit now. I love working out, and the business side of it too is fun. It's fun to be a part of something new. But yeah, just overall health-wise, it's good for me too.
I'll tell you what CrossFit is. CrossFit is an ass kicking.
It is.
I mean, it really is. I went for. Before I ended up having a leg infection a couple of years ago, I was going quite regularly, and it was fun. It was hard.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard as heck, man. When you're doing the Murph, and holy crap, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty rewarding after you're done, because you see the workout of the day and you don't think you can get through it, and then you do, and it's pretty rewarding.
It is the only sport where puking is cheered upon. When you got the puke bucket in the middle of the gym and you're going through a tough workout, yeah. And so,
Yes,
growing up playing football, you had the puke bucket in the middle of the field. You puked, you got made fun of. CrossFit,
right.
Dude, it's like, yeah, they cheer you on.
I know, it's fun.
So CrossFit, let's talk about CrossFit interacting with baseball. I have talked to a bunch of strength and conditioning coaches, and though they're not necessarily with CrossFit, but they're with some of the movements that CrossFit uses, how could CrossFit help a baseball player?
And the functional strength that CrossFit gives you is just, I've never felt more athletic in my life, and just durable and strong and lean and strong. And to build the stability in my shoulders, there's some, when I first started, there's some scary lifts for baseball players. The snatch, you've got some clean and jerks, and, some shoulder things that growing up as a baseball player, and even at the Rockies organization, they told me to stay away from. And, if you do it right and you have good technique, then you modify it and scale it down to a good weight. There's no reason you shouldn't be doing these types of movements. I mean, it's all functional, and it's all great mobility workouts, man. I feel really, really good right now as an athlete in general, and it's just overall the best workout I've ever had.
So how do you think, if you had CrossFit back in your playing days, how do you think it would have helped you out?
Probably my endurance during the season. Just my legs. It would have helped my legs during July and August during the season when you get tired. So we would have done some CrossFit workouts during the season. I think it just would have helped the endurance, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So what else you got going on? So you're starting to do some motivational speaking.
Right. Doing a lot of speaking lately. I've been asked to speak in high schools and some local community events, and they want me to tell my story, and they also want me to help kids to tell my story and give back, and try to convince them and to not go down the road I went down initially, and tell them how I got back on track and the types of things I do in my life today to stay on track. And where I want to go. But it's real exciting. I also have a Hitting Hearts nonprofit organization I started. I had my first event this past month, and it was fun. It was a wiffle ball game with special needs children versus the local Idaho State University softball team, and I raised money for a special needs kid to further his education after high school. So it was a lot of fun.
So here's a question for you. So Idaho State has softball?
Idaho State has softball,
but they don't have baseball.
No baseball.
Huh.
They've got club baseball, but no
Interesting.
NCAA sanctioned sport.
Now, does Boise State have a club team now as well?
I think they have a club team, yeah.
You know, it's funny because one of the connections, hopefully he was there when you were at CSI, but one of our connections was Jim Dawson. I don't know if you remember Jim Dawson. Jim Dawson was my 8th grade math teacher.
Yeah,
and he played baseball.
Jim.
He played baseball at Boise State, but that was back in like the late 70s. And
sir.
And he like I said, he was coaching there under Skip Walker at CSI. And so let's chat a little bit about your CSI days. What did it mean? A lot of people outside of Idaho in the junior college ranks have no idea who Skip Walker is. Tell us a little bit about Skip.
Skip, he's a great man. He's passionate about his team, his players, individuals. He's really passionate about the CSI program. And, he's had success in the past with that program, and he wants to get back to those days. But he's a good guy, and him and I didn't get along at first. I mean, he's tough on everybody, and, I came in thinking, well, I was scared a little bit. I was nervous coming from a small town. And then he just tried, the way he was coaching back then, his philosophy, man, he got all over me. He tried to break me, I think, but I didn't break. And so it made me better. Different kids respond differently to different coaching styles, and I responded pretty well to his. So some kids don't. Some kids these days, they buckle and they'll go home or whatnot. But, it fired me up. I wanted to get better, and I wanted to prove him wrong and prove other people wrong.
He is a coaching legend. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of Twin Falls is lucky with College of Southern Idaho. For years, people don't realize that College of Southern Idaho, Brian, here's something for you. College of Southern Idaho men's basketball team has the winningest record of any college basketball in history. I think it's like up at an 82%. It's crazy when you look at their stats, when you look at their win-loss records, it's crazy. Yep. And, people don't realize that. And, College of Southern Idaho, I think they've been around since I think maybe the mid-'60s, I believe.
Right.
But yeah, back in the Fred Trinkle days, when they were winning national championships back in the mid-'80s, later '80s, and they were pulling in big names. And same thing with the baseball program. There's a handful of players, yourself included. Logan Easley jumps out, and I who else has gone? Can you give me a couple of other names that have went on major league success?
Like Brandon Duckworth and Cody Kirkland gone on to play pro ball, and there's a few others that went on to play pro ball and get to the big leagues. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Duckworth is one. I'm thinking for some reason I've got Jason Simontecchi stuck in my head, but I could be wrong.
That?
Jason Simontecchi?
I don't know that name.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason I've got him stuck in my head, but so in a nutshell, give us. So you were talking about motivational speaking and that how they wanted to hear your story. So in a nutshell, give us your story.
Real quick, I worked my way to the top or close to it, and I quickly turned my focus and my passion on the wrong thing in life, which was a substance, a chemical. I wanted to numb a few of the things that I did in my life. I went through a few career changes in baseball. I got a divorce, and I handled it the wrong way. And I hit my rock bottom, man, and then I I rolled around in that rock bottom for a little bit, but I got out of it, and I wanted to be a better person. I didn't want to really miss the chance of growing up and being a man, so I was tired of it, and now I'm back on track, so it's good.
And plus, you have a son, Cooper.
Yes,
now,
sir.
who you're I follow you on Facebook and everything, and you're doing a great job. And I'll tell you what, during the summertime when you guys are traveling around playing baseball, that is a pretty cool connection that you have.
Yes, we have a great time. I'm excited to be his coach from here on out. Hopefully he's excited too, but I love him more than anything in the world, and we're just going to continue doing our thing and having a good time and watch him grow. So,
what advice would you give to up-and-coming ball players?
I would surround yourself with people with the same goals as you. It's a big part of life is the people around you, the network you have around you. But I would definitely surround people with the same goals as you, a good network of support, and don't ever take no for an answer.
And so you're a close friend of Troy Tulowitzki.
Yeah.
And I asked you this before we went on air, so have you talked to him since he's been traded?
I have not.
Okay.
So I read an article about him this week, and I heard he's kind of upset. So we'll see. I got to shoot him a text. He talks a little bit more during the offseason. We'll talk about football.
I'll tell you, the Blue Jays came awful close. They had that lineup was awesome, and I had the Blue Jays and the Mets in the World Series. But hey, the Royals are a good team, and that's what the postseason's all about. The Blue Jays will reload for next year, and they're going to be tough.
Sure is. I'm excited to watch it. Starts in about 5 minutes.
So give us, you want to give us a prediction? What do you think?
The Royals in 6.
Ooh, man, I'm going to go with the Mets in 6.
Good.
But if the Royals win it all, I'm not gonna cry. I mean, it's gonna be a heck of a World Series. They have Raul Mondesi Jr. on their roster, so if he makes an appearance in the World Series, he'll be the first player ever to make his Major League debut in the World Series. That's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That'll be one to remember. Hopefully he does. He gets in the game.
All right. So one last question, and then we'll let you go. I know you got some stuff going on. When you saw the first baseball card you were on, take us back to that.
When I first saw that, it was in the off season, I think in 2003, and I was just, I felt like I'd made it. I don't know. I grew up a Cincinnati Reds fan all the time, and they're my role models. And then once I had my own baseball card, I actually stopped following baseball teams anymore. I'm like, oh man, I'm part of these guys, so I don't need to idolize them anymore. So it was kind of fun like that. But it was a dream come true. And I will never forget.
Do you remember? Was it a minor league team set, or was it like a mainline Tops /
Yeah,
Bowman?
it was a Bowman card.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. Yeah, it was. I'd had the regular, I'd seen the minor league team cards and stuff, but this was the legit, real deal. I got paid to be on it and stuff like that. So I was like, that's cool. So that was fun.
All right. Once again, Christian Colonel. Hey, Christian, thanks for taking time, and have fun tonight doing your event.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Norm. Thanks again. It's always a pleasure. Have fun watching the World Series.
All right. We will. Thanks, Christian. All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
So once again, Christian Colonel, you love stories like Christians who, kind of self-sabotage and then make it back. People don't realize being a baseball player is all fun and games. I mean, it's a job. It's a hard job. You're at the ballpark from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 11:30 midnight at night. You're in spring training. You're up early, playing games for months before you go. The time and work, and I'm not saying that, somebody like a school teacher like yourself isn't an easy gig as well, but it's different. It's a lot different. And, to play in front of fans who are not nice a lot of the times, that's a tough gig.
At least half the time they aren't nice. You're on the road. It's you've got the spotlight on you. You really do every single time. Every time you go out, they want an autograph. They want to know who you are. They want to talk to you. You walk down into the store. You do whatever. You're on the field. I mean, everybody wants a piece of you. It's hard.
People and minor leaguers, they get paid crap.
Yeah.
They get by the time they get everything taken out of their paychecks, they're like $500-$600 at the lower levels a month.
And you mean like stuff that they have to live, and
health,
the team
insurance,
takes it. Yeah.
Dues, taxes. Some of them don't have to pay for places, but but they're living, in the lower levels, 5, 6, 7 to a 2-bedroom house. You got people. Dirk Hayhurst tells a story of being in Portland at the AAA level, and he was sleeping in the kitchen on a mattress on the floor.
It's crazy.
With 4 or 5 other people. And, getting there, it's hard. And even at the major league level, you earn all that money, but, you're in airports 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're getting into the team hotel 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you've got to be to the ballpark at 11, 12.
It's a long day.
I mean, it's, the money's nice and stuff like that. And then you don't sign an autograph. And then you got somebody calling you, a name and just...
And now you got Twitter and Facebook and everything else. Everybody knows about it.
It's a tough job.
Yeah.
So we got our Clubhouse chatter gear out. So I got wearing a hoodie. Mark Canham of MDM Design here. He also got us a nice little golf towel for Brian there. We're going to be selling them. So check them out, MDM Designs. We are also sponsored by Base by Pros, Mitch Canham up there in Washington, building an athlete's sports education. And by BaseballDudes.com. To be the best, you must train like the best. Chris Gazelle up there in Vancouver. And Baseballisms. I got the childhood cancer hat on again, as I usually wear. And Baseballisms. Every week we're on YamhillToday.com. Check them out. Brian's got a football show going on. And where are you guys at this Friday?
Well, we are going to be at home. It's the Pigeon Bowl, yes. Forest Grove and McMinnville.
So explain the Pigeon Bowl. Why is it called the Pigeon Bowl?
I have no idea. I've heard 4 stories about the Pigeon Bowl this week, and none of them make sense.
So, in a nutshell, Bryce Clinton, a former McMinnville High School student, sent off a text during a football game years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, and referred to Forest Grove as a pigeon or something like that. And supposedly that is how it all started over Twitter.
That's the story that I came to know, but then I've heard other people from other schools tell me that there were pigeons outside of McMinnville, and all the football teams started calling it, hey, it's the pigeon place. I have no idea.
Which you never know.
You never know.
There are pigeons in McMinnville.
There are.
I don't think I've ever seen them around the football stadium.
No, I haven't either. So
I mean, usually it's around the Granary District.
Yeah, that's that or downtown once in a while.
So I'm Norm. That is producer Brian. And we will be back. Our second guest will be Oregon native Trace Lohr, who played on the U18 U.S. national team and current Oakland A's farmhand, and he'll be on at 5:30. Thanks for listening.